Hey everybody, Cream Crazy here, and well, it's been an exciting evening in my opinion, because here we are at, well here I am at 4:33 almost in the morning, and we're ready. I'm ready, I hope to God you guys are, because this is my 2012 Royal Rumble results and opinions video, or results and views, whatever you want to call it. Now, I went into this pay-per-view with a lot of anticipation, as I always do with a Rumble pay-per-view, because you can never, ever count out the Rumble for springing a few surprises. Overall, I'll get to the pay-per-view later, I'll get to the overall result later, but I feel this was actually a decent show. People are probably already saying, okay, I'm going to click the X button on my tab or the top of my user bar and say, nah, this was not a decent show. But hear me out, okay, because I've been scouring the internet whilst writing up and finishing my notes for this video, and I've seen so many people slagging off this fucking thing. And this night has actually, I've been thoroughly entertained, even with a few, very few mech moments, to the point where I can safely say the year has started well. But enough about me babbling, let's get on with the actual matter at hand, reviewing the show from top to bottom, and the fact is, this pay-per-view did not have 4 matches like I thought. It had 6. 2 filler matches added at the last minute. Let's go on with this. First off, I predicted this bang on in terms of position on the card and result. Bryan defeated the Big Show and Mark Henry in a triple threat steel cage match to retain the World Heavyweight Championship. And this was a bit meh. And the thing is, people really booed Bryan when his music hit, but the crowd at ringside did cheer him a lot. Cole's still pissed, and one of the funniest moments of the night, Big Show scared a kid at ringside, giving his hat to that little kid. Even at his age, which is in his 40s now, he can still intimidate, which is fantastic. Right, first off, Bryan tried to escape right away. Henry got him down. Show then beat him after going after Henry. Henry got splashed by Show a few times into the cage. And I thought at this point, the cage was going to break and the match would end at the snap of a finger, which I'm luckily thanking God it didn't. Bryan tried to escape again, but got thrown off by the Big Show. Bryan gets beaten up a few times, but fights back after some chops, but is then thrown straight into the cage wall again. After getting beaten down in the corner, he then drop kicks Big Show in the leg, and then Henry in the head. Bryan then goes for the door, but is then dragged and slammed into the cage by Henry, which was quite funny at one point, because Henry then ordered the door to be shut, which made me go, yep, that's a fucking badass right there. Amazing that I've actually just now lost my place. There we go. Bryan is then whacked into the cage while Show hits an impressive super kick on Henry. Pace is a bit slow, but then again with Big Show and Mark Henry in the match, what the fuck are you going to expect? Honestly, after Show annihilates Bryan, then Henry then clotheslines him, which is cool. Bryan then goes after Bryan. Henry is then ready to splash Bryan, but he ducks. Show then clotheslines him right out of the bat. Bryan covers and gets 2. Show throws him about and signals for a chokeslam. Bryan counters, follows up with a tornado DDT from the top rope. Come on, give me some plaudits for that. That is a great move, especially on a guy that size. It's great to get that kind of twisting elevation on that. Anyway, covers, Show kicks out at 1. Bryan then locks Show in the bell lock. Henry then breaks the hold. Henry then lines up Bryan for a fall-away slam, but Show whacks him with a WMD right on the head. Covers, but Bryan breaks it up. Bryan runs up the cage, almost escapes. Show then grabs him by the neck or the arm or some body part and holds him above the ringside area. Show then climbs up onto the top. Bryan is slipping down and then breaks grip and gets to the floor and wins. It ends as quickly as that. Now, this was shorter than I expected. Everyone was a bit pissed off by the length of this match. I know that some people on Facebook were saying should have gone about 5-10 minutes more, but knowing that the injuries that Big Show and Mark Henry had going into it, it was obvious this was not going to last very long. And in my opinion, that's at least done okay. All 3 men had equal offense throughout, staked their claim in the match, which is great because I expected that. I wanted either 2 giants to take each other out, leave Bryan for a bit, or have Bryan do a willing fight, which he actually did. I'm impressed with that. I did feel the match did need to go on longer, because if it did, the filler matches would not have been needed. This match would have gone for about 15-20 minutes. It would have done something, which, to be honest, that means those filler matches were not needed at all. Seriously. On the plus side, I mean, there's some psychology in there. Not too much, though. Because obviously Bryan sold more moves than he was putting them through, and Show and Henry aren't very good at selling. Nonetheless, the win is a legitimate one for Bryan, which I love, but it still looks cheap enough for his heel turn to keep on track. That is a great thing. I was wondering how they were going to tackle that, and they've done it exactly right. Overall, it was a basic match. It wasn't the best thing in the world to watch, but I had to say I enjoyed it for what it was. I gave it a 1.5 stars. 1.5. I'm happy with that. I'm not too fussed. It wasn't too great, but the rating does speak for itself, really, doesn't it? Next, we got one of the first filler matches. Beth Phoenix, Natalya, and the Bella Twins defeated Kelly Kelly, Alicia Fox, Tamina, and Eve Torres in an 8-diva tag match. Now, I hate these types of diva tag matches because you don't get anything done, really. I mean, there are only a few little moments in this. First, well, one of the big moments I thought was Eve went for a flipping senton splash and Beth got her knees up. Pretty awesome. A brawl ensued on the outside when you didn't know who the fuck was in it. Kelly did a big splash from the top rope. Cool. Hardly ever see those kind of things from a diva. It was great to see. There were two great moments to end this matchup. First, I can't remember if it was either Brie or Nikki. I couldn't tell which Bella twin was in. And then Beth just slapped her on the shoulder to assert authority. That's psychology in a storyline building way right there. And it made me think, fuck yeah, she's Diva's champion. She's a badass. She isn't going to stop it. And then Glam Slam got hit. 1, 2, 3, victory. Now, there wasn't too much to see in this. Honestly, this was typical 2010 decade Divas business, you know? It's the same old shit. But we got 3 good moments in this. And I think that was decent enough to give it 1/4 star. That's really basic, I know. But what more are you going to get? I mean, last year, the best Divas match on offer, I think, was Michelle McCool versus Layla. Yes, it was, I think. Because that was a 1 1/4. That was a really good match for the Divas. But listen, they've got a whole year to try and iron out these problems. This should be a decent start for them. And 1/4 star to start the year, very poor, but I still, for a Divas match, will give it a good lot for that. Then, one of the, I wouldn't say unexpected results, Kane and John Cena fought to a double count-out in actually quite a decent match. And I predicted Cena to win, and apparently, according to this is my only wrong prediction of the entire night, because I predicted a winner. I mean, even with these filler matches, I predict a winner whilst they're going on, so I did technically do that. Believe it or not. Right, Cena goes right at Kane and barrages the Big Red Machine with punches before Kane hits one back to take control. The crowd is very anti-Cena tonight. They are so anti-Cena. Those little kids and the women are so silent you can barely hear them. Kane's hit on the outside of the ring. Cena gets dragged out by the Big Red Machine. Kane is then thrown over the steps. Let me categorize that again. Over them, because no connection was made with the steps. No sound at all came from them. And to be honest, Kane, like the guy he does, is still selling it just like he hit them. Kane goes back into the ring and is immediately put up in an FU position, fights out of it. Kane presses Cena's head into the mat, hits a drop kick before covering for a 2 count. Cena goes for the flying forearm, but is then whacked with a massive uppercut. Cena is then covered, kicks out at 2. A suplex by Kane, covers and gets 2 again. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this does look very formulaic. This is a typical Cena match, where the heel always goes for one move and gets the pin, but then gets kicked out at 2. I remember R-Truth did this in Capital Punishment main event last year. Did this all the time. One move, then pin. One move, then pin. And to be honest, he got a cheap finish. I was expecting this was what was going to happen tonight, which would justify my prediction nicely. Cena went for the Bulldog, but Kane ducks and Cena flies out of the ring, which I thought was a nice little thing there. Cena hits the hot shot, gets back in the ring, but runs straight into a clothesline. Kane locks in a face vice grip, and this match looks over, but Cena counters it into, believe it or not, move of all moves, a crippler crossface. Yes! That made me smile from ear to ear. I was actually clapping. That Cena was using a crossface. You get my seal of approval there, John. Haha, but Kane powers out of it and hits a sidewalk slam with authority. Kane goes to the top rope, ready for a clothesline, and it connects. Cena counters the choke slam, hits his forearms, and a massive protoplex. It takes a lot of skill for a guy to lift up a guy like Kane. Then, well, he lines up for the 5-knuckle shuffle. You can't see me, but fuck it. When he goes down for that, he gets grasped by the throat, and, well, Cena gets out of that chokeslam attempt and runs into a massive boot. And then 1, 2, match seems to be over, and Cena kicks out of it. Cena then blocks a superplex attempt and sends Kane back to the canvas. Hits a 5-knuckle shuffle from the top. Yeah. Nice. Cena, you are doing some good stuff tonight, I might add. Cena goes for the FU. Kane fights out and knocks Cena out of the ring. Both men brawl up the aisleway. The ref counts to 10, and it is a double count out. People predicted this was going to happen. I doubted them, so eggs on my face here tonight. Then, of course, they go onto the back. Kane whacks Cena with a chair a few times, goes into Zack Ryder's locker room, takes him, basically hits the vice grip on him, takes him unconscious to the ring, throws him out of his wheelchair, puts him in the ring, tombstones him. What a way to play on an injury. What a way to make it even worse than to tombstone a guy with a back injury. That's great. And then Cena comes out into the joy of myself and the audience. He is chokeslammed. Gotta give my claps to that. Honestly, that was good. Right, this match, I was expecting a winner. I really was. And I didn't expect this finish. I did not expect a double count out. I thought this was going to easily pick a winner from it. But no. No way in hell. It did, however, keep both men strong in the process, which is fantastic. Because I thought they were going to have one guy lose his strength over the other. That didn't happen, and I'm actually quite happy for that. I do feel, though, guys, that even though Kane got a multitude of the offense, he did look a tiny bit weak. Tiny bit. But he did regain that by chokeslamming Cena straight to hell after the bell. So that definitely redeemed itself. Not too much psychology involved in this match, though, because obviously these guys are not very good at doing that in these matches. One giant in one case against a super Cena. Not good. However, I did enjoy this match. It was back and forth. I loved the fact that both men were getting equal offense. I actually quite enjoyed it. For the match that these two were put on, I thought that these guys had great chemistry in the ring. And the fact that they could work well means this feud is not over. And I'm looking forward to seeing how this plays out with Zack Ryder's injury, with Laurinaitis' review tomorrow night. All hell could break loose, because I'll give a quick little spoiler away. Neither of these two appeared in the Rumble match. Yeah, let me just get that out of the way, so in case any of you don't really go crazy saying, oh, this is an awful Rumble match, because it was a good one. Ladies and gentlemen, I have seen worse, because this could have been worse. This could have been a slow, plodding thing where Cena just dominated. But no, it was fun, it was exciting, and for the most part, for these two guys, it was a great match on their part. And you know what? I'll give it 2 stars, because it could have been far worse than that. I enjoyed it. I'm happy with that. And now for the second filler match of the night. I may have to kill someone for doing this, because Brodus Clay defeated Drew McIntyre. Now, for a guy of his size, Clay is a good wrestler. I just hate the gimmick. Because with Drew McIntyre, I thought, okay, he's going to win a spot in the Rumble by doing this match, okay? I thought that'd be great, wouldn't it? But no, then Clay comes out like, for fuck's sake. Drew beats down Clay in the corner with some punches. Clay just gets angrier, and this will explain his green singlet, okay? He's wearing green while his girls at the ringside are wearing red. He is the Incredible Hulk. He does a nice capture suplex, a back ram into the turnbuckle, and is running crossbody for the win. These two could have been in the Rumble, mate. Mate, buddy, everyone out there, these two were not in the Rumble. They could have been, and that would have been fun. But no, they weren't, and well, it's basically the definition of filler. The definition of a ridiculously shit match. And you know what? This match is going to be up for Worst Match of the Year at my Wrestling Rant Awards in 11 months' time. I've already got a #1 candidate for that. And it's only the first pay-per-view of the year. Somebody shoot me. This is crazy. Guys, there's nothing more I can really say about this match. A big, fat, 0. I can't even position a 0. Fuck it. 0. Big fat 0 right there. Nothing. I cannot give this match anything, and if you do, I will have to go over to your computer or your house or whatever and fucking kill you. Because that's not... If anyone finds anything from that match... Seriously. If you do find anything good about that match, I will have to say you're a disgrace to wrestling. Now I got that small rant out of the way, I can get to the WWE Championship match, where CM Punk defeated Dolph Ziggler to retain the WWE Championship, whilst John Laurinaitis was a special guest referee. To be honest, we all saw this coming, but we definitely did not expect, well, some of us expected it, how good this match was. Laurinaitis came out at the start announcing he was going to officiate the match outside the ring, while a WWE ref does the job inside the ring. Now that is a unique twist. That, ladies and gentlemen, is how I call unpredictable TV. That's unpredictable. I didn't expect that. Vicky Guerrero came out anyway. She got thrown out. Well done, Johnny Laurinaitis, for doing something right. Thumbs up. Here we go. The multiple counters and leapfrogs by both men kicked off the match as they got off to a very nice quick start, with neither man really getting the upper hand to begin with. It was quite back and forth, and I liked that. Punk rolled up for 2, then tried to lock in the Anaconda Vice, but Ziggler wriggled out. Punk then locked in an O'Donnell stretch, punching out the chest of Ziggler whilst he was doing it. Punk throws Ziggler onto the top rope, and Ziggler falls to the outside. And I'll tell you now, the way Ziggler's head bounced off the ropes, then flew out, looked to me quite sick. And the commentators were playing it up quite a bit as well. Punk hits a suicide dive onto Dolph. Punk goes for an elbow, but Ziggler pulls Punk off and elbows him repeatedly on the ground. Now, well, my throat's going to kill me by the end of the night, I can tell you. At this point, Ziggler's got some offense, and I can hear some Let's Go Ziggler CM Punk chants. Could be a future long-term feud, I presume. Let's hope. Punk kicks out after 12 elbows a hit. Not good for Ziggler in the psychology department and working in the injury. Punk and Ziggler punch out and hit Punk gets a nice big chop. Ziggler locks in a sleeper hold, but then Punk counters it and locks in the Anaconda Vice before Ziggler wraps in Punk in the sleeper. Hold and counter hold. That is good wrestling. Cannot deny that. That is great wrestling. Fuck it, I'm lost again. There we go. Punk then throws Ziggler off him, puts Dolph in a nice dropkick for 2. The crowd at this point do actually seem a bit dead, and that is not nice. I'm enjoying this, and the crowd are going, I don't care. Fuck you guys out there in the crowd who are making this match not seem a big deal. Get your heads out of your asses. This is a fun match. Ziggler goes for a famous serve, but Punk counters into a spinning sit-down powerbomb. Nice! Ziggler kicks out at 2 though, which is amazing because that move looked like it had a massive impact. Woo! Punk then hits a high knee and a spinning neck breaker to get Ziggler down. Hits the running knee and the bulldog. Punk signals the GTS. Ziggler fights out, catapults Punk, but however Punk lands on the top rope, hits a flying crossbody and covers for 2. Ziggler then goes for the zigzag. Punk counters and hits a roundhouse kick, covers for 2. Punk hits a scoop slam, goes for the elbow, and connects it. 1, 2, Ziggler kicks out again, and lo and behold, the most beautiful moment of the night, Randy Savage chants. Awesome. The crowd wins on that one. They've redeemed themselves for being dead throughout this match. Punk goes for the GTS. Ziggler pushes Punk into the referee, which knocks him completely unconscious. Laurinaitis goes to check on said ref. Ziggler is tapping the Anaconda Vice, but no one sees it. Ziggler rolls up Punk. Punk reverses and gets a 3, but Laurinaitis is not there to count it. Oh man, Ziggler tries to go for the zigzag. Punk gets the GTS on him in the counter. And at this point, Laurinaitis is in the ring, getting a full face of it by oh, I think I may have missed something. No, I haven't. I thought I jumped out of the gun there. Ziggler went for the zigzag, Punk got the GTS, and Ziggler was swung into Laurinaitis. The ref can't count the pin because he's out, and Ziggler and Laurinaitis and Punk are just having a go at each other, saying, "You hit me on the head, what the fuck are you doing? I'm the referee here." Then Ziggler hits this fucking famouser out of nowhere. 1, 2, I thought it was over, but no! Punk kicks out. This is epic. Ziggler is then beating down Punk with punches and elbows. Punk catapults Ziggler, hits the GTS. Then Laurinaitis gets in the ring and counts the fall with the actual official. 1, 2, 3. And that is it. Punk wins and he is still the WWE champion. There were some great in-ring skills by these guys. And it definitely shows their dedication to their craft. And even better, Laurinaitis didn't get involved too much, which is great, because everyone was worried about this match having Laurinaitis involved too much to basically take away from the in-ring work. But whatever he did get involved in improved the in-ring storytelling psychology of this matchup. It was great. And I will say, it made it easier to invest in if Laurinaitis wasn't involved too much, which he was. And that was great. I think him at the end, counting the pinfall with the referee. Cole was going on saying, oh, he's definitely been impartial. He kind of was. Didn't distract Punk for too long. Checked on his fellow official. Did alright. He wasn't as biased as I thought. Definitely good. So even though there was some decent in-ring psychology, it was the usual fair move-wise. Neither of these guys took any risks in the ring, and I felt that it's nothing we haven't seen these guys do before, because we did see a lot of matches in the build-up to this pay-per-view, and I feel that may have taken away from the spectacle. You know what? This might be a lower rating than it is due to that. I mean, I'll be nice. I'll give this match 3 stars. Just 3 stars, because if you look at my rating for 3 stars, my definition, it's average, lacking in places, but still an entertaining match for the most part. So, based on that rating alone, I will give this the rating that it bloody deserves. Disagree with me? There is a comment section. You know what to do. And then we finally get, well, sorry about that. We get to the creme de la creme of this pay-per-view, which is the Royal Rumble matchup. Do you want me to reveal who's won it right now, or do you want me to reveal it a little bit later? I'm not going to reveal it right now, because I'm going to reveal it a bit later. Now, I'm going to go into the notion of the time of this match, because for me, how long a Rumble goes is as important as who wins it and everything else, okay? Because how long a Rumble match goes on for builds up the tension in ring. The bodywear of the superstars, the in-ring psychology, and the storytelling element all plays in. And this match, ladies and gentlemen, according to not just the Wikipedia, but ProWrestling.net, because I was timing this with my iPhone, I forgot to press the stop button. It lasted for 54 minutes and 55 seconds. That is a decent length. Right, let's go on with I'm going to announce first the entrance order. First off, of course, no obvious reason why this isn't the way it is. The Miz, number 1. We already knew that. One of my first picks. Alex Riley was number 2. A shocker, because he hasn't been on TV in fucking ages. Then we had R-Truth. Shocker for him coming out that early. I thought he would come in later. Then Cody Rhodes. Another shocker to come in that early. Justin Gabriel. Then Primo. Then another shocker at number 7, Mick Foley. Number 8, well, I don't even speak for this one. Ricardo Rodriguez. Shocker. Fucking shocker. Santino Marella, followed up by Epico. Then Kofi Kingston at number 11. Joey Lawler. Yeah, fuck it. Jerry the King Lawler at number 12. Who the fuck saw that coming? Then number 13, Ezekiel Jackson. Number 14, Jinder Mahal. Number 15, the great fucking Carlene. I was face palming. He did okay, I'll say the least. Number 16, Hunico. That's how you say his name. Number 17, another big shock, Booker T. And the Awesome Leopard was talking to me on Skype, and I was thinking, he's not going to be in the Rumble because he's in his fucking suit. I was completely wrong there. Whew. Then out came Dolph Ziggler, which I kind of expected him to do. Then, well, we had to get a customary legend, didn't we? We got Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and, well, I heard about it, I thought this was going to happen, but nah. He came in and the crowd were on their feet. This guy got a bigger pop than most people got in the entire night. I was a bit shocked. And then, number 20, The stupidest thing is Michael Cole was allowed in. But then, the entrant that came after him, my opinion, shock of the fucking night, because we got Karma. I said to the Awesome Leopard on Skype that Karma could appear to get involved in the Divas match. I didn't expect her to get involved in the Rumble. That then followed up at number 22 by Sheamus. And then number 23, I think the last big shock of the entire night. Oh, you didn't know? Road Dogg Jesse James. And I thought, just like many would have, that Mr. Parkin was coming out. And yeah, Dan, you can take a big smile on your face because I actually did think, fuck it, it's you. So that did come out well. Then Jey Uso, which surprisingly, I didn't expect him to get in there. Then number 25, Jack Swagger. 26, Wade Barrett, who I will criticise here. Wade Barrett has new entrance music. When the fuck did that happen? Oh, that's gay. Number 27, David Otunga. Number 28, Randy fucking Orton in his hometown. Number 29, Chris Jericho. And number 30 was The Big Show, of course. I was not expecting that. I was thinking Kane or The Undertaker. But Lord knows we get some surprises. At least he's not. The thing is, he's not as injured as Mark Henry is. Right, I'm now going to total through the eliminations from top to bottom. Right, Alex Riley got eliminated first by The Miz. A lot of people were pissed off at that on Facebook. R-Truth came out, and I know there are probably a few people already in the ring by this, but I'm only listing them in the order they were eliminated and who eliminated them, okay? I'll list out some major moments at the end of this. I may be reviewing this Rumble in the wrong way, but this is how I'm going to do it from now on. Miz eliminated him. Then Primo was out next. Mick Foley got a few hands on him. Justin Gabriel was then eliminated by a combination of Ricardo Rodriguez and Mick Foley. Morello then eliminated Rodriguez. Epico was eliminated by Foley. Cody Rhodes then got 4 eliminations in a row, which was Morella, Foley, Lawler, and Booker T. The Great Khali eliminated Jinder Mahal, which is bloody obvious. Ezekiel Jackson was eliminated by Khali, which not only makes Ezekiel Jackson look weak, but it puts Khali back on a pedestal, which, to be honest, we all don't want. Jim Duggan and Khali were both eliminated by Rhodes. That's his 5th elimination in this entire... No, 6th elimination in this entire thing. Michael Cole was intimidated by Karma and was thrown out and was eliminated by Jerry Lawler and Booker T at ringside. Nice. Hunico was then eliminated by Karma. A distraction by Vicky Guerrero helped Dolph Ziggler eliminate Karma. Could I anticipate a match at WrestleMania coming up? Or maybe even Foley Ziggler, I hope, is on the cards. We might see at this point Vicky Guerrero Karma. I don't want to see that, but it's in my head. Definitely. Right, then Kofi Kingston was eliminated by Sheamus. Road Dogg Jesse James eliminated by Wade Barrett. Jey Uso eliminated by Randy Orton. Orton then eliminated Barrett, which, to be honest, pissed me off, but at the same time is to be expected. Jericho eliminated Otunga. Swagger was eliminated by Big Show, then knocked him out at ringside. Miz and Cody were both eliminated by Big Show at the same time. Ziggler was then eliminated by Big Show, and we got to our final 4 of Sheamus, Big Show, Orton, and Jericho. Big Show was eliminated by Orton pretty quickly, which is shocking, and then Orton eliminated just as quick by Jericho. And we got to the final 2, Sheamus and Jericho. And I, at this point, was rhetorically and figuratively doing cartwheels because I knew I'd picked the Rumble right for the 2nd year running, and my 2 picks, 2 of my 4, had managed to make it to the final 2. I was doing fucking cartwheels, and it was a great way of ending it, because Sheamus and Big Jericho were continuous possible eliminations, fighting with each other. The best point of it was when they were both fighting on the top rope, trying to suplex each other either out of the ring or into it, and it was fun. It was intense. The spirit of what this Rumble match is about. And then, well, Jericho hit some co-breakers, nearly tried to get him out. Sheamus then put Jericho on the apron. Jericho nearly fell out, got up, and Sheamus whacked a broad kick. And Sheamus, ladies and gentlemen, the 22nd entrant this time, I don't think that number has ever won. The 22nd entrant, Sheamus, eliminates Chris Jericho to win the 2012 30-man Royal Rumble matchup to earn a WWE Championship or World Heavyweight Championship match at WrestleMania 28. And who got it? Who got the prediction right? And that's great, because I said he has nothing to do, which means him winning the Rumble gives him legitimacy in the eye of everyone. Because now he's got something to do. And everyone who said he was booked shit, you now have a reason to celebrate. Yep, I'm looking at everyone in the YWC at this point. Now, I'll tell you some of the little moments. There weren't too many, but I'll give you a few. When Miz eliminated R-Truth, Truth pulled Miz right out of the ring. And that shows the feud between these two is not over and it could go to WrestleMania. And also, at that point, I was thinking, fuck it, he's going to do a McMahon and stay out of the ring. But luckily, he didn't. Ricardo Rodriguez coming to the Rumble in place of Del Rio, a moment in itself. That made me laugh my arse off, because it was a really, really bad, banged up, I think, DeLorean. I'm not entirely sure. Santino Marella and Mick Foley got their respective submission-style finishing move socks out. Santino got his Cobra, and Mick Foley got Mr. Socko, and they had a sock-off. Honestly, if you were not laughing at this, I don't know what the hell you were doing, because that was funny as hell. Not the big moments. King, Booker, and Cole getting in the Rumble, because I never expected all three. I probably would have expected Booker, maybe King, but not Cole. No way did I expect Cole to get in this. And this, ladies and gentlemen, moment of the fucking night, because Kofi nearly got eliminated, and you know what he did? Shocker, but the most amazing thing, he did a fucking handstand to not get eliminated, and he was handstanding all the way to the steel steps. The crowd were on their feet, the commentators were going mental, and I was going loopy. Karma's return soon after or before, I can't remember, was just ridiculous. I've already said who expected it. Who expected that? Because I thought she was Prego, but Lord knows what's happened there. Road Dogg returns. Again, I said, massive moment. I thought it was Mr. Parkin. A good moment for Orton to show his dominance, but even though he did get eliminated, he hit a double hangman DDT on Ziggler and Rhodes. Loved that. And of course, the end part. Sheamus hitting the bro kick on Y2J for the win. And their whole end sector, their whole end part of the Rumble was the most enjoyable part of the entire bit. Now, some people, and I know some of you might be watching this video right now, you've been ripping this Rumble match to shreds. Why? Because it was lack of big names, comedy moments, and an undeserving victor. Do you guys really call yourself wrestling fans to say an unpredictable Rumble with so much going on? You honestly tell me or anyone else that that was not a fun Rumble to watch? Now, I know we're all different people, we have different opinions, but that Rumble to me was fun as fuck to watch. And there was so much going on. I mean, Karma, Road Dogg, and the commentators, who expected them to get involved? The sock-off between Foley and Morella, Rodriguez's cameo. I was laughing my arse off and going crazy, because this is exactly the kind of thing the Rumble match needs. Kingston's handstand pwned Morrison's Spider-Man routine. This is a Moment of the Year award material winner. This is a material for that. And the Rumble lasting a good amount of time was perfect. It definitely paced itself right. However, to get to a negative, the eliminations at the end and quite a few at the start were quite quick, and they did not help solidify the Rumble well. But most of the time, there was at least 4 people in the ring most of the time, and that was great. I loved that aspect, because it's good to see they've kept in a lot of people to make it as unpredictable as they possibly fucking can. That's great. And Sheamus's and Y2J's work at the end, they worked their asses off, and I gotta tip my hat off to them, even though fucking hell I'm not wearing one. And it was a fun match to watch, one of the best I've seen in years. You guys may be disappointed, because the lack of big names shows you don't need star power to make a Rumble great. It was unpredictable, it was fun. I loved it. I mean, obviously the elimination pacings were bad. Wade Barrett getting eliminated pretty fucking quickly before he had a chance to really make an impact. Mick Foley coming out early was a bit poor because I expected him to really do something. Hell, even I was about to say even Jey Uso did well, but I thought his place was a bit of a waste. Kane, Brodus Clay even probably should have got it because he should have said, "Okay, I've beaten McIntyre, get a match here." Fuck it, I would have even liked Laurinaitis to try and do what I thought was impossible, but still, overall, great Rumble match. Predicted the right winner. I mean, the only issue I do also have is that the 1.5 minutes time allowing them in. It was just, ugh. And at times at the start with Miz, it was a bit slow, and it didn't really get off to the fast, furious start that you expect a Rumble to really have inside the ring. I mean, sure, Riley got made to look like a complete jobber, but what more are you going to expect? It was a great Rumble. I predicted the winner correctly, which makes me happy. And it deserves a 3.5 star from me. Now, you all are probably going to get me. You're probably going to say, "Oh, you're a piece of crap for putting that up there." But to me, and the Awesome Leopard, we enjoyed it. We were talking on Skype saying it was a great Rumble match. You guys want unpredictability. You want the building of a sky like Sheamus from nowhere to this. You want fun. And you get it all in one match, and you still rip it apart. Sometimes you just gotta suspend your disbelief and be as excited as I was tonight. Right, let's go on to the final thoughts then for this pay-per-view. Now, this pay-per-view looked to start off 2012's fiscal technical year with a bang, and in some cases it was achieved. Fantastic Rumble match, which for me and the Awesome Leopard both agree was great. I'm not saying that, but then again, I've just realised Leopard and Tony the Tiger reference do not fit into the same sentence. Nonetheless, a great WWE Championship match, an enjoyable Kane and Cena match, put this night on a great level for me. The shortness of the opening match and the 2 fillers will obviously let this down. Because as you can tell, nothing can be at fault though for the finish of the World Heavyweight Championship match. Nothing. Because of the circumstances, it was obviously that was going to have to be done. But the 2 matches that were put in were disgraceful. Clay vs McIntyre match, worst match of the year on pay-per-view, definitely. And I have to say the Divas match didn't do anything for me. It was nothing. Although I will say, apart from a few obvious pacing and psychology issues throughout the entire night, this pay-per-view was an entertaining one. It kept me on the edge of my seat for a lot of it, and for the year to start off that way is a good sign for things to come. On another note, though, 2 other things that brought this pay-per-view down. Now, normally I would not factor this. I would never normally factor promos into a pay-per-view rating, but obviously I have to, because these were 2 significant ones. Rock and Cena profiling promos. Now, these were, to me, unnecessary. Think about it. The Rock was made to look like a glorified movie star absentee, and is basically made to look like he doesn't give a crap. Even with the legacy of the business that he's got, he was made to look like he doesn't care. While Cena, on the other hand, was made to look like the most loyal person the company's ever had, and the biggest cultural figure, bigger than Rock. Now, that is not a good sign leading to Mania, people, and I only had 2 bad matches to sour my night. I mean, sure, like I said, a few psychology issues and a few little other match-related things. I can say this was a decent night, but that was not a good sign. Because those 2 promos, and the Be a Star campaign promo too, what the fuck were they for? Filling time? You had a lot of time to build the Rumble and make it the longest ever, but no. Could have done better. But still, there's more good than bad in this. The bad does weigh it down a bit, however, but not by much. I will say that again. There's not as much bad as you might think, because the fact is, there may be a 0 and a 1/4 star, but the fact is, the rest are 1.5, 2, 3, and 3.5. That's very, very decent. And guys, you may kill me for this, and you may seriously say to me, this is not what it deserves. Then again, we are different people. This, ladies and gentlemen, the 2012 Royal Rumble gets the year off to an above average start with, and I'm trying to think, am I doing this right? A 6 1/4, 6.25 out of 10. I'm being generous. I'm being generous, aren't I? But I enjoyed it for the most part. If it wasn't for some little things, I mean, sure, with that kind of description, could be up there in the high 9s, but no. You see, if to get up to Money in the Bank territory, Money in the Bank 2011 territory, you'd need to have almost every match above a 3. And that didn't happen tonight. So, this rating may seem a bit overboard, but listen, you have your opinion, I have mine. And ladies and gentlemen, I will actually, you know what? 6.5? Would I give it 6.5? No, I'll give it 6.25 because it's more like, it's closer to a 6 than it is a 6.5 in my opinion. So, no, I'll give it a 6.5. I'm being fucking generous. No. See, this is the problem with this kind of thing. It always gets me confused. Anyway, yeah, 6.25. I'll keep it there just for the hell of it. And guys, that's my end of my results and opinions of the Royal Rumble 2012. And fucking hell, 41 minutes? Hope you guys are enjoying this, because I love doing videos for this long. Right, hope you've all enjoyed this. And if you haven't already, click that subscribe button up there. You can click the like button down there. And you can also comment on what your opinions are in that comment section. Yep, because it's there for a fucking reason. I will reply to practically every comment. And that's about it, really. I will reply to as many as I possibly can. And guys, also remember, because in the Madness of the Royal Rumble and this review, you may forget to do 3 things if you haven't. 1, add me on Facebook. 2, search CreacCrazyWR on Skype. And ask me Q&A questions via Facebook, via Skype, or here on YouTube. Don't ask me in the comments section, ask me in the message thing up there. If you've just come across my videos, you haven't really seen many, there's a link up there where you can click on and you can check out the other stuff I've done. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is where I'm going to end, because I've just realised I have a politics test in the morning. It's 5:15 in the morning. Fuck. I started this video around 4:30. Well, this shows the dedication I'm willing to go to give you guys a full in-depth review. And I hope this review has started off the year well, because to start the year with a 6.5 out of 10, that makes me think WWE could be in for a good year. Let's just hope and pray. I have been Cream Crazy. You have been people watching. This has been my 2012 Royal Rumble pay-per-view analysis. And I will see you next week for a great little fan video. I mean, obviously I got the news before that, but I have a video that was requested to me from a fan, from a viewer, wondering whether a CM Punk Daniel Bryan feud ever could be in the cards and how I would book it. And ladies and gentlemen, that is the first ever video request I have ever taken. So if you want me to do a video on anything, all you have to do, post in the comment section or message me. Guys, I'm going to leave it there because I need to get some sleep. I will see you on Wednesday for In the News. I hope you've enjoyed. And cheers. The road to WrestleMania is underway and we're ready and tearing down the tarmac. See ya.